Oh, you filming? Oh, sorry, I didn't realise you were filming. The English DNA, I think it's slowly being eradicated out of the game with the different approaches that we have now. We have a very European attitude now to our footballers. Totally different than what it was 20 years or so ago. It's changed completely.
What was it before? If you
Well, it was always about fight and power, and players just giving 100%. The ball wasn't on the floor very often. It spent a lot of time in the air. It was always about being tough and having and it still happens to this day. I mean, people still say, "Oh yeah, he's very English in the way that he plays," which is basically saying that he's a tough guy. I've seen foreign players. I've had foreign players in my dressing room that take 2 hours to get ready.
Wow.
You know, because they've got to look pretty before they go out, and they've got to have a rub down, they've got to have a massage before the game, they've got to have this done, that done. They put on their 4 or 5 different layers of clothing, and the English guy tends to just, you know, a warm up to him was like 5 knees to the chest, short sleeve shirt, whack his shin pads on, come on then lads, let's go. That's how it was 20 years ago, and I think that slowly that Englishness is going out of our game now. And
do you think the Asian players can fit into a new type of DNA?
Yeah, without any question. Without any question, I think the Asian players, obviously growing up here, there's a certain amount of Englishness about them anyway. And I think that they need to get a little bit of Englishness about them. I think we spoke earlier. Jason was giving a presentation earlier on. Jason Lee was saying about, you know, some of the players these days. Some of the young Asian players tend to give up at the first hurdle, the first obstacle. That is very sort of English. That was always, I think, the English or British players in particular would never give up. You know, they have this attitude that they'll continue to fight no matter what's put in front of them. If you put an obstacle in front of them, they'll climb over it, they'll get past it. And I've obviously had long conversations with Zesh over the years about the lack of Asian players that come through, and he often said that sometimes, you know, they fall at the first hurdle. They don't appreciate that it's not going to be that easy. It's always going to be tough. And coming from an Asian background, it's always going to be even tougher. Because you've got to gain respect first and foremost. And where you always gain respect is in the dressing room. I know players that have, over the years, I mean, I've myself been transferred, and you go into a dressing room where you don't really know anyone, and you have to impress them. And the only way that you impress them is on the training field or on the field of play on a Saturday afternoon. That's when you gain respect.
Do you think English white managers are skilled enough to apply a DNA to a new type of player from a new type of cultural background?
If you look at the Premier League, the answer to that would be no. 7 out of the 8 clubs that are at the bottom of the league are English managers. 7 out of 8 are English, and they're in the bottom 8 places in the Premier League. And you look at the top of the Premier League, 7 out of the top 8 are foreign coaches.
Wow.
There's only one Englishman in the top 8, Sam Allardyce, and he's 8th. Above him, the rest of them are not English. So in a way, which is quite scary. It's quite worrying from my point of view. No, I seriously think there will be Asian managers, there will be Asian coaches. A lot of Asian coaches, young Asian coaches, have managed to get themselves jobs. In not only in foundations but also in the Football League and the Premier League. They're now working in like the community program as coaches. Some of them have actually excelled at the community level and actually have gone up now into the academy.
Fantastic.
You know, which is brilliant for the Asian community to look at these players as role models, look at these coaches as role models, that you can do it. You know, they have been accepted. and a lot of young Asian coaches are doing well. Obviously, we want to see eventually an Asian manager, whether it's in the Football League or one day in the Premier League. Who knows? I don't think it'll happen in the next 10 years, but it's got to